just for fun, I'm gonna test out this watercolor palette. This is a very cheap watercolor palette from Amazon. It's like not name brand or anything, I don't think. This is just a cheap set. I've seen these like on random YouTube videos and stuff. I bought this actually a while ago. Was like, I like the idea of a tiny little travel palette. So I bought it. I'm not anticipating it being great, but this water or this sketch spread, I don't want it to be too complex. I'm here to enjoy this process. This process is not meant to show off the materials or impress anybody. This is a relaxing session for my brain. So, one of the questions that I got over on Instagram was, how has life changed since I got Roro, and how do I keep up motivation? So I have had my dog for, almost 2 years. And I got her when my life was actually a little bit upside down. I didn't realize it at the time. It's one of those things where like your life is changing, but you don't think it's that big a deal, and you realize it kind of is. So I got her 2 years ago when I was actually in the process of leaving my career as a nanny. So I was a nanny for close to 10 years. And then I kind of decided I was going to wrap that up. I was going to be done with that. My perspective was initially, a job is a job. It's not that big of a change. I'm just switching jobs. I liked the place I worked as well as you can. And I got along great with most of my coworkers. But anyway, so I brought that up because I honestly think Roro was one of the things that made it very bearable because at this time where I was switching to an unfulfilling job, I got a dog. And I had wanted my own dog since forever. Like, I love dogs. I have always loved dogs. So I think it was maybe Providence that at a time where I switched to a job that was no longer feeding my soul, I got a dog. But just that first year, kind of her getting used to being in my house and me getting used to her, it required a lot of attention, and like in a good way. I think it was a good thing for me to focus on. So now, fast forward a bit, definitely settled into a nice routine with Roro, and we're kind of on the same page. I think one thing that it's annoying sometimes, but I'm also grateful for it, mainly is that she kind of forces me just to get out so much. Like, she's not high energy like a border collie or a husky. Like, she doesn't get destructive when she's bored, but she does have a lot of energy. She does like long walks, and that is when she's her happiest, is if we can get like one really long walk in a day. And I'm grateful that she forces me to get out for those walks almost daily. Especially now that the weather's getting nice and stuff. Like, I'm glad that she forces me to go out and enjoy the warm weather. But even more than that, I feel like having a dog really forced me into having a routine that I stick to, because there's somebody else kind of waiting for you to get up, get food, go outside, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've always been someone who, if there's nothing forcing me to stick to a routine, that routine is gonna just shrivel up and die. It's gonna be gone. So I've been really grateful that Roro is an outside stimulus kind of forcing me to stay on top of my schedule, my routine, and all that kind of stuff. So that does kind of tie in a little bit, if I force it. It does kind of tie into the next question, which was how to keep up motivation in art. Motivation is a tricky thing. What I feel like is more important than keeping up motivation is learning how to work without it. And I guess probably most people know that on a certain level, like you can't rely on your feelings, like feeling motivated to force you to make art, especially if it's not something that is already part of your routine or your daily schedule or whatever. Motivation is not reliable. So if you can kind of, instead of working on motivation, I would work on discipline, personally. But I think there are some ways you can inspire or like tap into motivation that will help you. So I'll share that. I just wanted to get out of the way. Like, discipline will be much more reliable in the long run. But there is such a thing as motivation, and there are ways that you can kind of encourage yourself to like feel like drawing. So I'll share a few tips with you. One, kind of starting with the most basic, is always have your spot ready. This means if you're drawing at your desk and you need a little area at least to be clear so that you can sit down and just draw paint, do that the night before. If you draw, you have your supplies and you just sit on your bed and draw, have them all gathered beside your bed so that you can just sit down and draw. I know you may not need like a clean space to focus, or maybe clutter doesn't bother you, or maybe it doesn't feel like your space has to be set up. But if there's anything adding a little bit of friction to, sitting down and drawing, your brain is going to latch onto that and turn it into something even bigger. It's not a big deal to quickly clear your desk to sit down and draw, but if you're already not in the mood to draw, your brain is going to convince you that it is impossible to get that desk cleared or get those supplies gathered. I think I skipped that color. Yeah, I skipped that color. Oops. We have a purple in here that I skipped. I try to tell myself, like, sometimes, just draw whatever you want, even if it's not something that people are going to be impressed with, even if it's something you've drawn maybe too much. Just draw something that feels comfortable. And a lot of times that like comfort, drawing, painting, whatever, it will build the confidence I need to tackle more difficult things. I know with social media, let's just blame social media. There's you're always aware of somebody else drawing something better than you, drawing something more complex than you, more innovative, creative, impressive, whatever. And I think we're kind of getting to a stage in human evolution where we're always kind of thinking about what would this look like to other people. But I would work on, for motivation's sake, just kind of like, what do I want art to do for me? Just be a little selfish with it. Instead of trying to see like, how can I exchange art with other people for attention or for likes or whatever, just be like, how can I keep art for myself? How can I keep it here in my own little space and do something that makes me happy? Art does not actually, even if you enjoy it, art doesn't have to be profitable. It does not have to be a job. You can just draw for fun, actually. So that's what this whole spread is. In a slightly different genre, I guess. Something that I actually find motivating is to give myself goals that I cannot fail. I guess I can fail, but like goals and deadlines that are 100% within my control. So You guys have probably heard this if you've ever watched videos on goal setting or anything like that. You really set yourself up for potential failure if you set goals that you actually have no control over. So like if your goal is to get published, you actually don't have a lot, like get published by a company, you don't have a lot of control over that. You're at the mercy of companies and agents. If your goal is to hit a certain number of subscribers, hit 100, 1,000 subscribers, whatever, you can try, but you actually can't force that goal to happen. So I find for motivation in art, it's really important to have some goals that you have 100% control over. So for me, some goals would be drawing at 6 in the morning. I have control over that, and I fail sometimes, but I have control over it. A goal might be to fill a certain number of pages in your sketchbook, draw a certain number of days, or a certain amount of time each day. And start small. Okay, that should be obvious, but I'll say it. Start small. Like, draw for 20 minutes a week. Just start small. You can have hopes and dreams to get published, to get famous, to get popular, to make it your living, whatever. You could have those dreams, but don't make them goals unless you have complete control over them. I am not joking. Drawing at 6 in the morning makes me feel very successful. And it carries into my whole day. Like, I go to work feeling very pleased because I got up before the sun to paint. Nice. So those are the tips that I have for motivation. And like I said, though, the thing is, motivation is not something you can always control. Like, you're going to have days where you don't feel like pursuing art, where you don't feel like making progress. You know, those days are going to happen. And what I've kind of discovered is, like, sometimes you can just let it go for the day. You know, sometimes life gets hard and gets in the way. Sometimes you have to put art aside to take care of yourself, to take care of others, to just kind of keep afloat. But what I've kind of found is, if I'm not careful, then I kind of stop fighting for my art and I just kind of let it like drift away. So yes, there are times where art has to take a back seat, but I find that my life feels more fulfilled if I put in the discipline and the work to prioritize art somewhat. If it's between this and having a day job, I'm gonna have a day job because I need to pay bills. If my dog needs me, if my family needs me, whatever, art will be put aside for that. But I prioritize art pretty darn high, as you can tell, because I get up stupid early o'clock to do it. Prioritizing it like this just gives me so much more direction and kind of like purpose in my day-to-day. So I'm not saying you have to make art at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Arguably, that's not necessary. But I will say I think it's very fulfilling to prioritize art and give that to yourself. Because that's what I think it is. It's art first and foremost should be for the artist. And then second, and almost as important, you know, maybe for communicating with people around you. But for your first step, it should be adding to your life, not detracting from it. I would be curious to know if you've made it this far. If there's, you know, any tips or tricks that you guys could share in the comments about how you motivate yourself or how you encourage discipline, maybe, I'd be curious to know. Do you force yourself to make art, or do you only rely on motivation and inspiration to, like, you know, be in the moment and feel like it and really, you know, do you let your feelings dictate when you make art? What makes you sit down and make art? Is it discipline? Is it just a feeling? Is it a mixture? What makes you make art? All right, so there's the painting for this morning. I can't believe that took 45 minutes. I guess I can kind of believe it, but wow, I always get so optimistic. Like I'm gonna fill a whole spread in less than an hour. One could say I get delusional, but... So right now I'm feeling like it looks a little washed out, a little low saturated. Could be user error. It could be this $10 tiny set from Amazon. We don't know. We don't know. Amazon won't care. Let's blame Amazon that these paints are not very good. Next video, I'll do this side, and what I might do, just because it is low saturated, I'll do this side with the cheap paints to kind of make it consistent, and then go over the whole thing again with nicer paints to sort of like bump up the color. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my rambles. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you're not already subscribed, you should subscribe because I do these videos get posted weekly, and you would like them. Because you stayed to watch all of this one, you would like the other ones. All right, have a good day, you guys. I will see you in a future video. Bye.